For the last few months, I think we have been focused more on iconography and also cataloging new collections that have come onto HAR or that have appeared in at auction houses that were new to the Himalayan Art Resources website. But I think it's time to get back a little bit more to talking about art and dealing with important subjects like Masterworks. So with Masterworks, we're really looking at two kinds of divisions, aside from the two main mediums, the sculpture and painting. Then we also have the two divisions, really, of art history and religious context. And with art history, we have region, we have style, we have period, and we have aesthetics. And for the religious context, we have primarily iconography, which means the subject of a figurative form, or the subject of a narrative or a diagrammatic work. And then we have the tradition that it comes out of, and then we have the literature, the source literature, and then we also have the added complexity of variations on that. But of course, all of it under the overall topic of Masterworks. So if we take, for example, the subject of Tara. Now, in this case, not necessarily a green Tara or a white Tara or another form of Tara, but just Tara in general as sculpture, we do have a general look. We have a one-faced, two-armed, seated figure with the legs in a relaxed posture, generally with the right leg extended and the left slightly folded up onto the lotus seat. The right hand is generally extended in a gesture of generosity, but it can also be in a gesture of fearlessness, or it can actually be raised to the heart in a gesture of blessing or even teaching. The right hand is generally at the heart, holding the stem of a utpala flower, which blossoms next to the left ear. But also in this case, the left hand can be placed flat on the seat while still holding the utpala stem. And there can be other variations, such as Dharma teaching gesture, also while holding the utpala flower. There can be many slight variations, but we're talking about just generally the typical more generic form of Tara. And for this, we have many different regions that have to be discussed. We have essentially Pala, India. Then we have possibly Swat, then Kashmir, West Tibet, Nepal, Central Tibet, but even Central Tibet is divided between Tsang side and the U side of Utsang. Then we have Eastern Tibet. We have China with the Yuan period, then the Yongle, Kangxi, Ashwanda, Kangxi, Qianlong periods, bringing it right up to the 18th century. But we also have Mongolia, and with Mongolia we can have the Zanabazar style of Tara that really is coming out of the late 17th century all the way through into the beginning of the 19th century with copies of that atelier. But then we also have Dolonor, that sort of area between Beijing and just south of the Gobi Desert is this Dolonor area where we have a different style again. So with this, we have these main geographic regions, but then we have different styles at different periods of time, and they all have to be looked at individually. And then we have to look at the special aesthetic characteristics of each period, each region, each style, and then determine what are really the masterworks that represent the people that were creating this art in those specific places at those times. In terms of religious context, iconography is the main point, and that is the general look of Tara. then what tradition is it coming out of? Possibly, if there's some changes or special distinctive characteristics. Then we can also be looking at the source literature that describes a particular Tara, or why the gestures are different, why the leg postures might be different, why the right leg might be drawn up and the left leg might be extended. And then we need to look at different variations. So this is just a general outline that we will be using to look at various types of masterworks for sculpture and for painting going forward. And but just as an example here, I'm just saying Tara. But in the generic form, I'm not saying green or white or any other forms, but just in the most general way that Tara is depicted in a seated posture, then this is the sort of the outline that we will use moving forward to look at different types of masterworks of different subjects of iconographic subjects of figurative art, as well as moving forward with painting. And then later on, what we'll do is we'll start looking at it from an even tighter art historical point of view, where we're looking at a body of works of a particular style or region, and what the characteristics are that are different between the different figures, and what are the same characteristics. So we'll leave it there. You can press the like button, you can subscribe, you can join HAR on Patreon, and you can make a donation on the homepage of Himalayan Art Resources.